Oh yes, legends, we are live. What a major dump down that we've had, testing the $76,000 low. Now the question is, are we expecting continuation to the downside, or are we going to get a huge, massive bounce? The low is in, guys. Stock markets have crashed. Black Monday, as they say, right? And everything's crashed. We got interest rate decision that is going to happen, and we're going to see some interest rate cuts. This is it, money printing going on, massive V-shaped recovery coming in the next coming months. Well, we're going to be analyzing the charts, guys. We're going to be analyzing the levels. This is what we do, right? We look for day trading opportunities, analyzing overall the macro structure. Every time we break out from a zone, from a corrective move or an impulsive move, we discuss what could be happening next, right, throughout the higher time frame, right? What are the possible movements in the next coming weeks? Eventually going through the higher time frame, analyzing the structure of the market and the different movements that could happen throughout the coming weeks, right? Not only in the next coming hours and days, which we'll go through now in just a few minutes, but the macro, right? What is the macro picture looking like, right? Is it looking incredibly bearish? Is this still possibly corrective, okay? Or is it starting to look very bad, okay? We're going to be analyzing that right away in the next coming minutes. Going through the macro, you can see I have a blank chart, nothing on the chart right now, because we'll go step by step on several scenarios. We'll be also focusing on the lower time frame. Lower time frame, very important to look for day trading opportunities, scalping day trading opportunity levels on how the price could move in the next coming hours. We might have an opportunity in a few hours. It might be in an hour. It might be tonight. It might be tomorrow morning. Overall, looking at how the price action can move and where the opportunities lie, okay, for some day trading scenarios. Let's go through the comment section, say hello to the beautiful community, and we'll dive in right away, okay? Let's go. Let's go. Yes, we are live. And make sure to destroy the like button, guys, on your way in. My like button doesn't work very well. It seems like people don't like me too much. They just want to look at the content, and that's it. Not destroy the like button, guys. Make sure to do so. It does support the channel. If you want to continue seeing me here on YouTube, going through the charts. Now, yesterday we did do a video update, right? We did do a video update talking about, you know, it would be nice to see a little bit of a bounce, all right? Before we get the collapse down, you know, the overall idea here was the triangle, right? The whole idea here was this triangle. I think everybody here, even including my mother, was even looking at this triangle. You know, my mother was saying, yeah, this is a triangle in a downtrend. It's going to break down, right? Even my mom knew that this was going to break down, right? So the overall idea yesterday was, you know, speculating on a possible bounce, right? It would be nice to see a little bit of a zigzag move here, a little bit of a fake out, and then the roll down. However, we also discussed the possibility, which is kind of rare. Now, the question is, was this the top of the triangle, right, in an A, B, C, D, E, or did we form the E wave here in this triangle, which can happen, I have to say. It can happen. It is rare to see. It was what happened, right? When we do analyze here the local time frame throughout the weekend, right? Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you know, it was a possible scenario that maybe we're just going to break down from here, guys. Maybe the E wave is in on this little triangle, and that's it. This is the moment that we break down. It was a possibility, right? I would have preferred to get a bounce, to get into a better short position. I did get into a very small position just because of the sake of it. You have the stock market, you know, collapsing. You just believe that Bitcoin is just lagging behind, right? This does not have to be good for Bitcoin and crypto, and potentially, you know, by Sunday evening, Monday morning, right, we're going to start dropping down very aggressively, which we did, right? We finally broke down this internal triangle, which counts very nicely with the steps, right, that we need to have, which is literally an A, B, C, D, E, and then the collapse down, potentially finishing your E wave right over here, right, from the entire triangle. So you've got an E wave triangle inside of the larger triangle, looking for that breakdown. Very much expected, very much going to happen with high probability. The question was yesterday, Will we manage to form a zigzag up and then down, or just collapse right now and the triangle is in already, right? Well, we can see with today's price action, guys, you know, the correction was in and the big move happened early Monday morning, early morning today, right? Depending on where you are. So the collapse happened. What can we say? It happened. You know, whoever got aggressively into the short on the breakdown or was just, you know, happy to short, you know, some small positions in this zone, congratulations, you did get into a big, nice movement, right? We did drop over $5,000 in the last 24 hours, which was very, very good, right? If you're looking for a nice big swing move, right? I'm not too into swing moves. I like to day trade. Most of the times, I've actually made more in a small little scalp long here on a bounce than actually shorting in this area. You know, I wasn't confident in shorting this breakdown, but just for the sake of it, I'm going to get into small short position, made more money in a small movement of $1,000 than a $5,000 movement. So the big swings doesn't matter depending on your style of trading. Do you swing trade? Do you look for $10,000 moves, right? $5,000 moves? Or do you look for $1,000 moves, $2,000 moves? That's where I like to trade. We'll be going through some major scenarios on the lower time frame, but now the question is right now, okay, let's get this triangle off the way because we need to discuss what is next for the price of Bitcoin. We need to understand the overall higher time frame map, guys, because the charts is a map, right? The chart is a map, and we need to figure out in the map, where is the way, right? Where is the highest probability movement that could happen? And that's what we do, right? It might sound Chinese, it might sound crap, right? Technical analysis does not work. Your analysis does not work. We were expecting a big movement. Eventually, I think most of the people were expecting a big movement. We were just getting squeezed here, the big movement to happen this week. Well, it happened early this morning. Could the triangle be finished here in this E wave? Can we get one more bounce and then collapse? Well, the triangle finished here, and we did move to the downside very aggressively early this morning. So what is next? Well, this is what we're going to discuss right now, okay? Different possibilities, different scenarios, taking a look at the chart. All right, quick hello to the beautiful community. Jerry, Andy, my man. Jerry, how are you? Mr. Joe, as Ivan on tech says, hold on to your cojones and smash by. Very nice saying here from Ivan and tech. Shout out to him. Andy is taking a bath again. Yes, I am. I usually take a bath. This is why I'm a few minutes late. I wish I had more money to buy more. Andy, tío, necesito un buen trade hoy, says Gasuni. Yes, we will analyze some levels, some scenarios that could happen. We crash. Yes, we did, my man. We did. Joe, how are you doing? Khalib, still waiting for 65K. I think we will visit 62K. Very possible. Very possible. Yeah, well, there's some major bearish case scenarios, all right? We want to take a look at the overall picture here and talk about, you know, several different scenarios. Several scenarios that we have, because right now we are running out. This one can go in the bin, right? This one, which was low probability, can go literally in the bin. This is no longer something that we are going to talk about, right? Could this be the low? There was higher probability in taking out 76K. It's something that we had to have on the chart. Can this be bullish? Yes, it can, but we are heavily downtrending. Markets are not looking too great when you do see them. This is the S&P 500, guys. You know, this ain't looking good, right? Why would we reverse and Bitcoin bottoming out? You know, some people were speculating on Bitcoin's decoupling because we're holding strong. The highest probability was it's lagging behind and we are going to get this dump down to visit $76,000, right? Which we have done early this morning. So this scenario is going to the bin, guys. We don't need that scenario anymore. There is a few that I would like to discuss on the live stream, okay? So hello to everybody. Make sure to grab your cup of tea, your water, your beer, whatever. Big Andy Joseph, how are you doing? Much love to you, my man. Hopefully some people managed to scratch some dollars off this major dump. We were very much making people realize about the danger. No matter how much support we do have here, guys, This is not a moment to really speculate on the weekly level, the daily level. This is dangerous right now to speculate in looking for a swing failure pattern. If we do dump, we could dump very aggressively. This is no moment. Last week, it was okay. I did actually manage to jump into a scalp long position in this region, right? We just tapped the daily right over here that we had. We understood that it was not the moment to collapse yet. And yesterday is when we were very much cautious of the collapse, meaning that don't get into any swing long positions here, guys. If you're going to get into a long against the possible massive drop, it's going to be dangerous, right? This becomes very dangerous. The collapse looks imminent, and I hope that helped you to understand, yeah, I'm not going to long if we start breaking down here the triangle, if we start breaking down the value area low of this entire trading zone. Yeah, the moment you come down here, you know, it's not a zone to look for long positions. I mean, this was explained last week. I did long here, but I did not get into any long, you know, was not even thinking about long in here till we visit below 76K, right? We test the lows. Now we can get into some scalp longs, right? We're reacting. We're finding some levels, right? Prices dropped. This is not a moment, guys, to get into long positions. We understood that this was dangerous right now. And the main reason why is because we're getting to the end of the triangle. We understood that collapsing last week with this three-wave move, we still need another wave in the triangle, some kind of wave, whether it's a triangle, whether it's a zigzag, it doesn't matter. We still need another wave here because I wasn't believing that this was the E wave. Some people now, you know, I'd see Devil as well talking about it. You know, maybe this was the E wave. This was your D wave right there. And this was your E wave. I didn't like it too much. I did see the possibility still of a zigzag and another zigzag coming. We're going to talk about this because it is possible. It is possible that this was it, right? It's another scenario that we need to talk about, right? Where we will have some levels. I liked it like this. Formed a little triangle. Very aggressive scalp long last week in this range. And from this moment, it becomes dangerous because you either form a zigzag or you break this little triangle to the downside. And here we go, right? So anybody that tried to get into any long positions from 76K and $81,000 either got liquidated or either is underwater. I don't know. You know, it's just not a good zone to look for some longs for a reversal, right? The market's coming against you. We were very much aware that it's a dangerous area to long right now. Liquidation levels, you know, it was not a plan since we created the low on Thursday and we started forming this triangle. Last week, Wednesday, Thursday, yeah, we can still look for longs. I'm expecting a little bit more of a range and a little bit of a bounce, right? And another wave and then get the collapse. From yesterday, no more, guys. No more. This is dangerous. This is likely going to dump down. And we did early this morning. So let's go right away. Let's see how many likes we do have because, you know, I'm going to go quickly later on through the comment section. And maybe a little bit more downside. I think, you know, more downside is possible. But there's going to start being emergency meetings. You know, interest rate cuts. Yeah, there's a lot of speculation that, you know, it's gone up right now. We're going to see emergency meetings, interest rate cuts, possibly money printing activity. Now it's when we are possibly going to start to see the recovery phase, right? Maybe a little bit more downside. Okay, we're not saying that we're going to V-shape. Maybe a little bit of more choppiness, but the alarm is on now. This is what we talked about a few months ago. Before there is big money before there is big money printing activity and very aggressive interest rate cuts, we need to see this. This is what you get first before a recovery, right? money printing, interest rate cuts. This was mentioned in the last few weeks, right? The last few weeks we've been saying, you know, I do think that the market will recover eventually. There will be money printing and the market will recover. But before, we need to see a collapse. And that is understanding literally what happened on the C19 crash, right? We needed to see the market collapse, right? Like this to then get a massive recovery. That's what we need. We need first the fear and everything going to crap to then interest rate cuts aggressively, money printing. Then we can start, you know, speculating on a recovery. So yeah, we pretty much got an aggressive dip here, right? Major collapse on the stock market. I mean, the S&P 500 is almost down 20% from the all-time highs, right? And this is in about 5 weeks. Yeah, just around about 20%. I think the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ is down 25% or so. I haven't checked it, but I think it's a little bit more than the S&P. So we've had the collapse. You know, now in the next coming weeks, depending on the price action, we can start speculating on the possible reversal that could be happening, right? So yeah, anyway, we're here to not to speculate on that. We're here to basically look at the charts, and try and you know, analyze what could happen next. Right now, we're going to lean with the still bullish case scenario, right? Because there are some bearish ones, guys. Maybe the market top is in, and we're going to see a multi-month bear markets, or even a couple of years of bear market for Bitcoin, and we're going to go down to 50,000, 40,000, right? And you know, bear market, right? We go much lower. It is possible on the higher time frame, right? There is you know, there is a way in counting. You know, just keeping it simple with Elliott wave analysis, you got the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And inside the fifth wave, we did form a complex WXY in this structure. And from the start of the pump, basically at the end of this correction, which was a triangle, okay, we do have the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and 5, right? This is literally the end of the fifth wave. And that's it, guys. You know, it's a game over, game over. And what we are forming right over here is a contracting diagonal. Whether it's a finished one, we get a large relief rally, get everybody bullish again, and then collapse. Or we're still inside a much larger one, right? It would make sense to form a larger one here, purely based on the timing, right? You need a little bit of more timing, a little bit more symmetrical kind of a triangle here, contracting diagonal, sorry. A little bit more, you know, this would make a lot of sense. This would make a lot of sense. If we do get a bounce in the coming days, right? Relief rally, we find resistance at 80K, 82K, and then we roll back down and form another low. I'm very much interested in long positions, but I would be very much aware that this bounce will form a lower high, guys, and then we're heading back down, bear market. So yeah, there's several scenarios that we're going to talk about, okay? Let's go first of all with this one, right? The one that we've been leaning at on the last few days, which basically got the breakdown, right? The triangle, we're ready for a big move. The highest probability was getting the breakdown to $76,000. Now we are here. So now we need to understand what could be next in the coming days. Well, what we want to form here is another zigzag move. We are potentially in the first wave down, right? This was the first wave down. This was the second wave. This was the third wave, A, B, C. Then the large, complex, boring range, you know, corrective structure in the triangle. Now we have left this triangle. So yeah, we would be expecting some slightly lower levels. I prefer the price of Bitcoin to continue dropping down to below $70,000 in the next 1 to 2 weeks, because that would be more bullish than if we actually range and then one more low and then we get the bounce. This would be more bearish activity for the next coming months than actually getting the dump done with in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Get it done with, go lower, get extreme fear and people's hope down the toilet quicker. Go lower with this dead cat bounce, form a lower high, form a corrective structure in the coming days, right? A little bit of a relief rally, and then get another big drop down below 70K. Let's go down much lower, 65K even, why not? This would be better for a massive recovery in the next coming months. This would be much better that we go lower in the next couple of weeks than actually ranging here, bounce, and then another low and another bounce, because that would be forming this contracting move, right? Which will be bearish. This will be bearish in the long term. The relief pump will likely be just an exit liquidity strategy. Get everybody bullish, buy up again, and then form the lower high and absolutely collapse in the next coming months. If we range and we form another low in the next couple of weeks, it will very likely be bearish for the long term. And this will be the exit liquidity for the big players. We'll get everybody bullish again and then, get out of the market. That is if we range, we form one more low and we do form a kind of a contracting move. With this scenario, which is the bullish one, we want to go to much lower levels. And I mean, get below 70K, maybe even 65K, maybe even slightly lower than that. So it is important to continue this movement down. It is important. It will be more bullish for the next coming months instead of ranging and forming a contracting move. The breakout will likely be bearish, and this will be a liquidity grab, okay? Literally get people's hope back again and then dump back down. So when we take a look at the target areas of this WXY, corrective structure still, this is very corrective for the moment. You got the zigzag, you got the triangle. Now what you want to see is another aggressive zigzag down in the next couple of weeks, okay? So we want to get the price action going to lower levels in the next few weeks after the dead cat bounce scenarios. The target zone most commonly for this double zigzag is taking Fibonacci extension from the highs, all-time highs, to the low of this zigzag W, to the highs of X. Now there could be a little discussion here of where the end is. Is it the triangle or is it this high right over here? There could be a little bit of a discussion right now, which is the end of the correction, okay? We've got two pivots. Let's go with the highest one for the moment. And the highest one already, common target area is taking us down to $56,000. Now that would be epic, right? That would be absolutely crazy for a common double zigzag target. This would be pretty painful, right? Would be pretty painful. Now it is true that the minimum target for a double zigzag is taking out the W, right? The minimum target is actually taking out the low of W here. So we've taken that low out, but we want to see a pretty aggressive zigzag move here, at least, right? Form a three-wave structure down of some kind in the next coming weeks. That would be ideal to then, start looking for a big reversal. Now, we'll be going through the lower time frames, okay? Because now we've just only got the first leg down. First leg down, guys. I think this is just this is the beginning stages of another new downtrend, right? because we are in a we are in a downtrend, and this is the start of a new downtrend. Okay, yeah, unfortunately we've broken out. There's no V-shaped recoveries in my opinion. We're downtrending, and we're very likely going to go to lower levels, all right, on the higher time frame. So this is just the first initial stage of the wave. First initial stage of this wave, and what we are expecting is lower high after a relief rally, continuation to the downside, unfortunately. So that's the higher time frame perspective. This is long-term bullish. However, it gives more aggressive moves to the downside. The more aggressive we move down in the next coming weeks, the better it will be for the reversal. It's just a big washout. It's just a healthy, just literally a washout, basically, right? You're just looking for that. We're very interested in day trading scenarios. I just want to give the higher time frame perspective here, guys, on what are the kind of movements that could happen. So, right, literally, you're looking for lower levels on this Y in the next coming months, weeks, sorry, not months. So, what are the other scenarios that can be bullish short term? Other scenarios that are bullish short term, the only ones that we have is contracting move. Could this be a finish contracting move? It can, but it's not too symmetrical. I don't like it too much, but it is very much a possibility where you formed a zigzag, another zigzag up here, zigzag down in your 3, complex correction, WXY, and another zigzag down here, right, throughout the last few days. It is possible if we start breaking up here in the next couple of weeks. This, for me, I will have a lot of doubts. We'll have a lot of doubts in looking at the possible lower high, right? This is a moment that lots will be becoming very bullish, but I will have my doubts for sure on this. We can understand what will be likely bullish. As soon as we get above certain levels, there will be some good trading opportunities that we'll be discussing once we cross those levels, right? For the moment, we are still very much bearish. There is the other scenario here, which is your third wave is just in. This was the zigzag right over here. This was the zigzag right over here. Now you basically form another zigzag and then another zigzag back down in the coming weeks. Eventually, this ends up being bearish. This could be your wave 1 or your wave A, and whatever relief pump that happens here afterwards will likely form a lower high, either at 50%, golden pocket, right? Maybe the point of control of this entire range. Likely be a fake pump for exit liquidity for the big players. So that's a little bit of the higher time frame scenarios, guys. Now, we are mainly focused on lower time frames, right? We enjoy lower time frames. That's where we look for the opportunities and the analysis. So make sure to stay tuned right now, guys. Now is where we get to the meat and potatoes. Where can we find some day trading opportunities? Right? So let's go. $60,000 incoming. $60,000 coming. I mean, it's still, we've had a major drop, guys. A relief rally is imminent, okay? And the main reason why a relief rally is imminent is just understanding how the market moves. How the market moves, a relief rally is imminent. The big drop has happened. And I just want to explain on the lower time frames that a large relief rally is imminent, just purely based on how the price action dropped in the last 24 hours, okay? Bigger relief rally is imminent. The problem is now is the low in? Is the low in right now, or are we going to be forming some choppiness and form a little bit of a contracting move right over here? Now, the main reason why a larger relief rally is likely going to happen very, very soon, right, testing the lows or not, is understanding the drop. Understanding the drop here, which happened since the consolidation that we had in between Friday and Sunday. This wave that has happened very aggressively in the last 24 hours started from this area. All of this is a range. This is another wave, right? This is another wave on the chart. The waves down started from Sunday, right? This movement started from here. It did not start here. It did not start here. It started from here. This is your wave. Now we need to structure that wave to say, okay, when is it getting exhausted, right? When is the wave getting exhausted? And when are we looking for a larger relief rally, right? Potentially to go to 80K plus. Well, we're basically there. We're basically there. Now, the only question is the fifth wave in or is it not in? And we are going to be forming, you know, a bit of a contracting move here. This is how the market moves. We detected a massive long position many weeks ago, guys, based on this same analysis that we are going to do today, which is this one right over here. This movement right over here is where we were detecting a massive long opportunity to get above $90,000. And we were trading at $80,000, right? 80,000, 79K is when we were ready for a long position. We had a weekly naked point of control where there was a lot of support here at 79K. And we were speculating that this impulse is coming to its end stages, looking at a 5-wave move to finish. Now, the problem of this 5-wave move down is that the 5th wave ended up in an expanding move. Right? We were detecting this scenario and there was a live stream that we're going to talk about a few scenarios that could happen here, guys. Okay. We're going to build up the strategy, but overall, really looking at this as 1, 2, 3, the largest move in the 3rd wave with the biggest amount of volume. That's it, guys. We got our wave 3. This is it. Now what we're going to do is either form a contracting move or an expanding move. Could the wave 5 be in here? Maybe, you know, pay attention for another low and we form an expanding move here and then we get the reversal. This is what we're going to get ready here for today, okay? So yeah, it's important for you to stay tuned. And basically what you have is your first leg down, your 2nd wave, your 3rd wave, which is the aggressive one with high volume, and then you get your 5th wave. 5th wave can be tricky, but that's when you want to be ready for the reversal, right? So, in my opinion, we ain't going to go down to 60K, guys. Not today anyway, or not tomorrow, right? We're going to probably chop and test the lows. That is very possible, but this is the moment you want to get ready. So, with that conclusion, and especially on Coinbase, because I've been checking some other exchanges, and on Coinbase, been checking Binance, Coinbase. On Coinbase, you have it very, very clear here based on the volume, right? And the big move. When you take a look at the volume and the move that happened early this morning, right, or late last night, that is where you have the largest amount of volume. All this volume is part of your 3rd wave down. 3rd wave down is the largest amount of volume. Then your 5th wave, whether you test the lows again or not, volume decreases. That's it. This is coming to an end stage. This is likely going to get that relief bounce. So we're going to get a few plans here ready. Maybe the 5th wave is in already because, you know, there is a valid count for that 5th wave to be in. There would be a valid count here. And then you are going to get that larger A, B, C movement, get that large relief rally. It's very much a possibility. However, I do not know if that 5th wave is in already. I do not know. So what could be very interesting to see is the development in the next coming hours, next 1 to 2 days. Will the price come back down and revisit the lows and then get a bounce and then revisit the lows again? get that ultimate aggressive downtrend, right? We're just moving down. We're moving down. Oh my goodness. You know, it's just creating dead cat bounces and we're coming down to the lows. If we do so, I wouldn't be too interested in the first bounce, but I would in the next one. Okay. This, without a doubt, has been your fourth wave area. This is your fourth wave area. From the start of the drop from yesterday, okay, 83K zone, this is the moment that you start the drop. This is your one wave territory. One wave territory. This is the initial wave of the drop. Then you got your third wave. Then you got the collapse. And now you are in the fifth wave territory. This is you know, the fifth wave could be in. However, it could get choppy. We could form an expanding move. It could form a contracting move. Maybe you form a higher low here and then you get the bounce. If that were to be the case, of course, there's good shorting levels eventually. That's what we're going to discuss right away. But I would be very interested in a pretty epic long trade, right? And this is the problem right now, right? Because this is, you know, the same problem that we had just a few weeks ago with this situation. I understand that this is the third wave. What I do, you know, what I am looking at is where the bottom could be forming. And an expanding move was one of the plans created where we had a major level, okay, at 79K, which we were expecting the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the relief rally to get above 90K. So this is what we probably are facing right now, right? We're probably facing a little bit of choppiness, revisiting the lows, right? That's what we're possibly facing here in this scenario. The big move has happened, guys, okay? The big move has happened. You know, I do not expect the price to collapse down to $65,000 from here without a major bounce, okay? Then come down, yeah, absolutely. But from this area right now, no. I'm not expecting this to do this. So this is an area where you're looking for a relief bounce. It is extremely clear for me that the largest move has been this one throughout the last 24 hours. This has been the largest move. So the big move has happened already. If you did not get into the shorts, well, shorting down in this zone for continuation down is not the moment, right? For those swing traders. The big move has happened. So we could get a few plans ready. All right. We're going to get a few plans ready here in this local structure. We're just analyzing the local structure on the 15-minute time frame to realize what could happen. Right? That's what we do. What could happen here? If we do form a lower high, as we are rejecting from the golden pocket zone, right? Golden pocket is getting a reaction here from the latest lower high, which is this one. This is fourth wave territory, right? Big move down, boop, boop, boop. You get the choppiness. This is fourth wave territory. And now you're finishing your fifth wave. Whether it's finished or not, I do not know. Not too sure. You know, there is the potential of forming, you know, a contracting move throughout the next, you know, 1 to 2 days. It's very, very possible. This is the moment that it becomes incredibly interesting to get into a big swing, guys. Big swing like of $5,000-$6,000, right, to the upside. This is the moment where it becomes very interesting to look for the longs because the big move has happened. We've got the big move already, guys. Everybody's running around, you know, with like chickens with no head. Stock market, Black Monday. That's it, guys. The big move has happened. I know you might feel very, very bearish, but a relief rally is imminent. A relief rally is imminent at this moment because the big move has happened. So we can test the lows. You know, this is what becomes very interesting to see in the next 1 to 2 days. We are rejecting so far from the golden pocket, from the last lower high, which is very common for a contracting move, even the 7-8. Golden pocket to 7-8. Is this a good short? I don't like it too much, to be honest. I don't like it too much. But we are downtrending. So yeah, eventually following the trend to speculate in a contracting move, you know, you can do so. I would rather wait for different price movements when I'm looking for a day trade that could last, you know, maybe 1 to 2 or 3 days. You know, this is what we mainly do on YouTube, okay, to discuss a little bit of the higher time frame perspective, right? Then we can go through very low time frames, 5 minute, 3 minute, and try and analyze the internal waves, okay? But overall, that is a plan. That is a plan right over here. Golden pocket, getting rejection from this lower high, which is your 4th wave. Very common area, golden pocket to the 7-8 to roll down. I would expect not a massive breakdown from the lows, guys. If we were to come down below 74K, I wouldn't expect a big collapse down. This is likely going to be a wick down and a recovery stage. Then a lower high will look very interesting. But what I'm more interested in is in the next low. That is when I will be heavily speculating that we are forming a contracting move or an expanding move. And I will be looking for this double bottom right over here. This is the double bottom that I'm interested in. I do not know if this movement is going to happen, but it's definitely a movement that could happen right now after a big move. You're just getting exhausted. You just test the lows, bounce, test the lows, bounce. This is the moment where you get that big relief rally. So it's a plan, guys. It's a plan that it's just getting created. Maybe it doesn't happen. So if it doesn't happen, there are more scenarios that I want to talk about, of course, right? We don't only have one plan. We create 2, 3, 4 plans because, you know, maybe this is not going to happen. But I understand that this is how the market moves and where we're looking for a potential opportunity. So not this double bottom I'm interested in. I'm interested in the next one. That's when you have 5 waves here, finishing your 5th wave. Very speculative, of course, because you need many waves. It might not even happen, guys. So let's talk about what if it doesn't happen, right? As mentioned, if we roll down from here to the lows, I am not expecting a big breakdown. You know, this is a moment where you do not expect a big breakdown from here, going down to minus 70K. This is the moment that you expect. Boop, bang, right? And then you recover drastically. So yeah, we could go down to 72,000. We could go down to 372. But I would not expect a major collapse down to $65,000, right, from here. The big drop has happened already. So what we're expecting here is revisit the lows and possibly bounce. Revisit the lows, possibly bounce. And what you're forming is this movement, which is literally your wave 1 and 2, your 3 and your 5. And then you look for the reversal, big reversal, right? Big dead cat bounce. So that is something that could be on the formation now. Very, very possible. What if this 5th wave is in here right now, right? Say that we suddenly form a higher low in this region, which is incredibly hard and not a good long position zone. And we do this. I'm not interested in this long position, to be honest. I mean, we could go through the lower time frames, but it's dangerous, right? You're downtrending and trying to get into a trade on a higher low here when you're down trading is very suicidal, right? It's like, why the heck would you try and speculate on a higher low in a downtrend? it's like you're gonna get wrecked, right? So it's not a good long position. That is for sure. It's not a great long position unless you're getting into a scalp and you're looking for a small little movement at certain levels. But it's just not a good long, right? I'm not interested in this long position. What I am interested is in if we form a higher low and we move up, I am very interested in this short position. That's where I'm interested for the short to come back down to the lows. So it's not about getting into the long. It's if the price does form a higher low, and I would be looking for the ABC. If the ABC is not formed, I am waiting patiently based on higher time frame trade setups, guys. We'll go through the lower time frames now in a minute. But based on higher time frame scenario, it's either this that happens, right? And then we get the reversal bounce. You form that contracting move to finish your fifth wave here. That is what the kind of price action that we're looking for. We need two more lows. The first one could be aggressive, then you get the bounce. It does look like it's a kind of a double bottom. Then you revisit the lows again. The market moves like this, so, it's a possible movement that could happen. So I'm not interested in the first low. I'm interested in the next one, right? People are going to long on the possible double bottoms. This is not it. The next one very likely will be it. Because then you have the 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In that contracting move, then you get the big reversal. So we need a lot of information here, a lot of information to speculate on that long position. What is the most interesting short position based on slightly higher time frame? It is sweeping up these lower highs from early this morning, late last night, depending on where you are at. This area becomes very interesting for the short to continue back down and revisit the lows. However, I would like to see some kind of a 3-wave structure here. I would like to see some kind of an ABC movement. I do not know if this is going to happen. Maybe we do get that boom, 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 right? And then we reverse. Maybe we do get this kind of price action in the next coming hours, right? Between today and tomorrow. One of the scenarios is going to happen, right? We just need to be ready and wait patiently to see how the market moves based on this drop. So, as mentioned, on the higher time frame, for me, it's pretty clear. I'm interested in longs. I'm interested in shorts. We'll go through lower time frames now and analyze a little bit of this internal movement, okay? But higher time frame picture, then we start zooming in on the lower time frame. We form a higher low here. This is going to be becoming very interesting. We do have the 50% Fibonacci from the highs here to the lows. Golden pocket region, 50%. You're sweeping up these lower highs of yesterday evening, early this morning. This, without a doubt, is a rejection area. It's a rejection zone, without a doubt. Would be nice to see a higher low here out of nowhere and then do this. Eventually, this would be the rollover area, okay? Round about the 79 to 80K zone is where we're looking for the price to reverse. I do not know if it's going to form a higher low. We're dropping down pretty aggressively. So maybe the plan B is going to be the scenario, right? A little bit of an, you could already have speculated here. Because if this is not the end of your fifth wave, what is very nice to see here is this fifth wave, very, very technical, very, very technical. You have your wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and a pretty aggressive wave 5. But there is a 5-wave move happening in this zone. If you do expect eventually in a downtrend to continue, you could say, yeah, well, I don't think that this fifth wave has finished here. And, I'm very much interested in a, a possible contracting move on the formation here. and the fifth wave is not finished, right? We're going to revisit the lows. We're downtrending, so the market's in your side, right? If you're looking for shorts. So it's much easier to look for short positions based on fib levels, right? Speculation of patterns, right? So you would say, yeah, you know, I'm happy to get into a short position at the golden pocket. If golden pocket does not hold, then I would be targeting the 7/8 for the reversal, right? With some other levels of confluence. And then, you know, you're literally speculating on, you know, the market in your favor, right? The trend is in your favor. So you're very much well set here to get, you know, to follow the trend rate basically on these relief pumps. So golden pocket or 7/8 is common areas for the contracting move or expanding move, right? Contracting being more favorite than an expanding move is more rare. So you would speculate first of all on a contracting move. So golden pocket to the 7/8 is always a good zone to speculate that the fifth wave is not in this case, right? And we're just going to chop here for the next 1 to 2 days. Very much a possibility. But as mentioned, guys, you know, despite this collapse and this continuation to the downside, it makes a lot of sense that we will unlikely collapse down below $70,000 next, okay? A bottom formation in this region is extremely likely to happen, all right? Revisiting the lows, dropping to $73,000 or 72, and then a bounce, and then again 72, 71, right? We don't know the exact numbers, but what you need to see is a revisit of the lows and the bounce and another revisit of the lows. And that is the moment that you know that there is extreme high probability that the relief rally that happens here will be very big. It's a very big relief rally kind of formation if we do get this choppiness in this zone, right? We do get this descending wedgie structure here. The reversal is imminent. Okay, so we want to see that. We want to see that. We don't know how low it can be, this movement down. It can be aggressive. It can go to 72K and then bounce. And then it goes down to 71, right? Revisits this low. Regardless, it's still going to be that kind of movement that we're looking at. So we need one more low, and then the next low is the one that we are interested in. So let's see how that develops. Let's talk about the bullish, local bullish case, which is not the, you know, it's not that great to speculate on a higher low here, but, you know, this could be very much ready for a decent higher low here. It's just a kind of a dangerous zone. We got previous month, previous week levels. I got into a little scalp long to the highs here, just out of speculation for one more wave to the upside, which it did. Just a little scalp long. Previous month low, reacting as support here very nicely and just targeting the highs. Just a little trade of $1,000. Little bounce here, just speculating on a possible another wave up here. Now we do have 5 waves up, as we do see here. We do have 5 waves, not the most good looking ones, but it is a little bit of a contracting move right there. You got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is a 5 wave move. So yeah, is it possible that we do form a move back up here? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. This is definitely a scenario that could happen. Based on the movement up that we had. The movement that's happened to the upside is a little bit of a 5 waver. A little bit of a 5 waver. It is possible that we could do form a higher low. Fighting the trend is extremely dangerous. We know that. So when you're down trending, I prefer to see the higher low and get the wave up. And then I realize, okay, this is incredibly impulsive and this will likely be corrective. So I'm interested in shorts, but I want a larger bounce in a 3-wave structure. So long in here, no chance. I realize that this could happen, But you need to go with the principles here. In a downtrend, you preferably want to look for shorts. And if you want to speculate on a higher low on a downtrend, it's just not a good idea, right? Because the obvious would be coming back down to revisit the lows. So, you know, out of speculation, I would rather wait for a clear trade, right? I would rather wait for a clear trade instead of getting into a higher low in a downtrend, right? It's like, I understand it could happen. I just don't want to get into this long position, right? So if we do get that movement up here, you know, if we do form a higher low in this region, golden pocket 7-8, right, wherever that is, because a B wave, you know, can be very complex. B waves are the most difficult trade, you know, waves that you want to trade, because it could hit the 50% Fibonacci, it could hit the 7-8 Fibonacci, it could even hit the 0.88 and just almost hit the lows here and then form this. It's just not a good wave to trade, right? Let's leave it that way. I would rather wait for the possible C wave, and then I know that I have a good high probability trade setup, right? So it's just all about waiting. There is a longing zone that I'm interested in based on what I explained, right? And this is a bit of a higher time frame, just a chilled day trade long. We can go zoom in later on the stream for scalps, right? We want to know what levels are good for scalps based on the local internal move. But this is more of a, you know, bit higher time frame, analyzing the downtrend. Something's going to happen, right? One of the opportunities is going to come to us, right? Because there is a shorting plan in this zone and there is a longing plan in this area as well. Regardless, there's a short or a long. So we just need to wait for that information. First one is zigzag move up. Perfect. It's about being patient, guys. It's about waiting for the next target zones. Wait for the waves to develop, and then you'll have a clear picture. I need this to be developed to then really be interested in the lower highs here between 79K and 80K. That is a very much interesting area. If the price were to form a higher low right now, we're getting an instant reaction bounce. If the price, probably CVD is helping as well, right? We do have some pretty aggressive bullish CVD divergence on the formation. We're not too aggressive, to be honest. Not that aggressive. But there is some slightly lower lows on the CVD. So lots of people shorting, lots of people interested in shorting here. And you're getting a bit of an absorption, right? You got lower lows on the CVD, you got higher lows right there, and now the price is just moving back up. So yeah, this is what you get. This is what you get. You know, the big move has happened. You know, if you did not short throughout the last 24 to 48 hours, you could really get that kind of wave formation. There we go. It's pumping. It's pumping. Quick dump and pump. Now it's going to be becoming interesting. If we move up here and we correct and we start moving up here in a 5-wave structure, that is the moment that I would speculate on the ABC. That's what I want to see. Sweep up these lower highs, which is the common area for that ABC wave. All right. 79 to 80K zone is going to be the interest area. This is where you have most of the shorts, stop losses. That is the sweep of liquidity that I'm interested in to get the rollover back down, either in a small movement or in a larger movement later on. So for the moment, that is good. We got the corrective move here. Just gonna have to wait patiently for the market to develop. Gonna have to wait patiently, but the idea is really to get up here to this zone. Fourth waves are very common to be swept in a corrective move. Let's see if we do get up there. Of course, it's only a $2,000 pump from current where we are. Okay, so it's not that much. So that is the area of interest that I'll be analyzing very carefully if we do get up there. So it's going to happen at some point between today and tomorrow. And the other plan is we form a lower high and we look for this kind of movement, right? That is the next plan to finish this fifth wave and then look for the bigger relief rally. But maybe the fifth wave is in already on this big leg down. And now we get the recovery stage, which is obviously going to be that dead cat bounce, ABC movement. Sweep up the fourth waves. That is when I'm interested in the rollover. 79 to 80K zone is where I'm interested. We might get up there on stream, which will be a little bit fast. Will be a little bit fast in my opinion. We want to see a little bit of wave development, right? If we were to get up there, I want to see the first wave, which is in right now, possibly. Correction, next wave. Correction, next wave. Then we have the ABC. I want to see a little bit of a, you get the deal, right? With this bounce, there was a little bit of a 5 wave, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got into very, very aggressive long scalp in this bounce to claim the highs based on bullish CVDs as well. Just a quick little scalp long position, $1,000 move. But so you get the deal here. We got above the high, so that's pretty good. It does look like that continuation could happen right now. But what I want to see here is a slow grind. I don't want to see a rocket and just continue pumping. I wouldn't be too interested in that. I would be interested in the market scaling up here to this region, scaling up. When we get that scale, you realize that you're looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the moment that's the kind of price action that you want to see. You want to see the waves develop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because then you can map the situation that all of this is being that ABC movement. I mean, this could take a few hours to develop. But what I want to see here is the first wave, the third wave, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of structure. Then we do have the ABC movement. And this is a classic zone above the lower highs for the liquidation event. Then we can get a push down. Then we can get a pretty nice push down. So all of those people that are shorting late, yeah, right now is not, you know, if they're using high leverage, we're basically in a new wave formation at the moment. So this could pump and aggressively pump. We got a new, this is one wave. This is another wave. We're in a new fresh wave right now, and this could go, right? So let's see it chilling a little bit. Boom, 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 bang, boom, 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 bang, right? We formed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. We got the ABC movement. We are ready for the rollover down. But if we continue pumping right now and we cross through this area, then I would arguably discuss, oh, maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, right? You know, I want to see the price slowly grinding up there to then have my one ABC. 5 waves in your C wave. That's good. That's what I want to see. That's, you know, we're rolling back down. We swept up these lower highs. So let's see how we grind up there. For the moment, we are in the new fresh wave development. Like I said, this is not an easy long position, right? If you are speculating on an ABC here, the B waves are incredibly complex to get into, right? This is just a kind of a long trade that it's a little bit of luck, Because if you're downtrending and you want to get into a higher low, I am aware of this scenario happening, but it's just not an easy long. Let's go through the comment section right away and say hello to the beautiful community. By the way, today I have bought 1 Ethereum, guys. We are starting the 𝗕𝗫 strategy that we mentioned last week, and I have bought 1 Ethereum today, Monday. I said that as long as Ethereum is below $2,000, and what a better day today with the dump to 𝗕𝗫. As long as Ethereum is below $2,000, we are going to be buying 1 Ethereum every Monday here on the channel. And I'm going to obviously do a sheet on this, and we're going to scale what day, what price, right? Just to see the average return in the next 5 months, in the next 2 months, in the next year. As long as we're below 2K, we're going to 𝗕𝗫. So if we need to go down to $1,000, we will 𝗕𝗫 at $1,000. It's, you know, it might be 2 years of 𝗕𝗫. It might be 1 month. Maybe we're going to V-shape, and we only bought 2 Ethereum, right? As long as we're below 2K, I'm going to buy 1 Ethereum every week, and I'll pile it up, okay? Just bought that on weeks here, on spot. We bought 1 Ethereum today at an average price of $1,509 on the dump today. I was going to buy it on stream, but I would have bought it a little bit more expensive. So I've got 1 Ethereum here, the first Ethereum on the 𝗕𝗫 strategy. First Ethereum. Next Monday, we buy another Ethereum, wherever the price is, guys. It doesn't matter. Okay? Hopefully, we're going to be dumping a little bit more in the next coming months, so we can stack up some Ethereum below 2K for many months, guys, and stack up 10, 20, 30, 40 Ethereum, right? That is going to be the strategy only for the channel. 1 Ethereum every week, every Monday, all right? And we've started today, Monday, right? Just perfect with getting cheap Ethereum, which is pretty cool. Guys, remember that Weeks does have an incredible bonus, all right? Take advantage of the bonus that you do get on Weeks. It's a 50% deposit bonus. You do get $1,000 maximum, okay? So if you do deposit $2,000, you're going to get $1,000. You get 50% deposit bonus, guys. You transfer those funds to your futures account, and in 48 to 72 hours, you're getting that airdrop of 50%. So you can have more capital for trading. You also get 25% fee reduction, guys, by using the second link down below. Check out the second link for Weeks. Something good about Weeks, apart that you get 25% fee reduction, you just need an email and a password if you wish, guys. Email and password, and you can start trading. I know you can trade almost anywhere in the world, guys, so take advantage. I know lots of people, Bybit for me is my favorite platform, but lots of people cannot trade on Bybit, okay? So Weeks is a great alternative. Check out Weeks and get those perks, guys. Get the 25% fee reduction, the 50% deposit bonus, using the second link down below in the description, okay? Weeks right over there. So we pumped all the way up to the previous week close. Now the previous week close is acting as a little bit of a reaction level. A little bit of a reaction level. These previous week and previous month levels can be relatively good if you do have a strategy. You know, my speculation here was bullish, with bullish CVD divergence, was to get a little leg up to test the highs, bullish CVDs, and previous month low to hold as support. We were consolidating here nicely. Just a little movement. Previous week close right now is what is acting as resistance, right? So when we go with the weekly levels, the weekly candlestick, we can see how, let me just clean up the chart here right away. Getting a little bit of a rejection from that point. Previous week close right over here, right? So if we do get that trend line, previous week levels and previous month levels are very important, guys, which are good to get, you know, if you do have a strategy based on confluence areas, they are good. But now the market is moving in a new wave, but as you can see here, previous week close, which is the daily open. Getting that little reaction, as you can see here. Tried to break above it. And now getting a rejection here of $600 almost. Yeah, about $500 rejection. These are very aggressive, very aggressive scalp scenarios. I'm not too confident just because we've initiated a new wave here, in my opinion, right? We've initiated a new wave, but previous week close, which is the daily open, it's today's open, obviously today, Monday, daily open, right? Previous week close is acting a little bit as resistance at the moment. As we are in a new wave, I would really like to see the price action, this being possible A wave, this being a possible B wave, really getting up here with a slow grind, okay, and failing with a 5-wave move up to sweep up the lower highs in this region. Analyze the waves very carefully, and this local double top would be the moment that I would really speculate on that reversal. So we're going to have to be a little bit patient on this development. But it looks like that we could be on the formation. Could be on that formation. Hopefully we do get that 3-wave move up. But right now we just in the formation of the 5-waver. Hopefully it might be a contracting move. Very easy. Maybe the next wave up is going to be a bit aggressive. And then you get a double top right there. But this is the area, guys. This is the area to really look for that local double top for a bigger reversal down, okay? This uptrend, in my opinion, will come to its end stage. You know, that's the overall idea. But we need to remain patient. The price is pumping, getting a bit of resistance. But we're in a new wave right now. We're in a new wave, and this wave needs to find the choppiness, right? Slightly higher highs, slightly lower highs. 5-wave structure, ABC, roll back down. Let's see how we develop. Still moving up in a new wave. Are people getting bullish? Are we too bearish? Is this it, guys? We do have an emergency meeting coming up. Are we going to cut rates already tomorrow? And it's time for full-on recovery, money printing going on. Let's go, guys. You know, the dump has happened, right? This was it. This was it. The dump has happened. Is it time for V-shape right now, guys? Or is the recession only started? Has the stock market big crash only started? Let me know, what do you think? So, yeah, anyway, let's go right away through the comment section. Nearly Adam and Eve. Nearly Adam and Eve. Nearly Adam and Eve. I'm not sure what. Adam and Eve here. Double bottom scenario. I'm not too sure about that. I don't see it. Anyway, let's go and continue through the comment section. Bro, we ain't done with the dump, said Lance. Yeah, I know. No one predicts recessions. Very true, my man. Very true. People, when Solana was over 200, damn, I knew I should have bought it below 100. Also, people, Solana 98 bucks. Will it go lower? DCAing, guys, is the way to go. I've decided to DCA on Ethereum. I am not expecting a 20x return in the next couple of years. But yes, a 5x, you know, get above $5,000 is the game plan. So I'm happy with a 3-4x just with my Ethereum holdings. But I'll be creating a wallet. I bought the first Ethereum from the channel. This is the DCA, right, investment plan. I chose Ethereum because Ethereum is going to do well in the future, right? It's the decentralized, proven blockchain with DeFi, with dApps, okay? Not Solana, not BNB. Ethereum will come back stronger than ever, guys, in the future. That's my personal opinion, and we're going to see the returns of this DCAing strategy. We're going to buy at 1,500, 1,400, 600, $1,000. It doesn't matter. It's a DCA strategy. And the overall game of this is to have some good returns in the next coming years or the next coming months, or maybe at V shapes. I don't expect it to V shape, of course, but overall the idea is to buy below $2,000. If it's below $2,000, every Monday we will buy 1 Ethereum. We'll stack it up and then we'll see the returns in the next coming years, or if not months, right? But it's a good strategy, guys. It almost never fails, right? It's never failed for me till it does, right? But it's just stack it up as it's below and it's dumping. Then the returns, wherever the price is, right? You know, we do expect it to get to all-time highs, get to $5,000 plus, which is a DCAing out strategy. Buy up the dips and it keeps dipping. It doesn't matter. Once it breaks all-time high, it's a DCAing out strategy. That's the overall plan, guys, and it's very effective, and you will see how effective it is if you are going to be a long-term subscriber. Okay, because yeah, DCAing always good. What's up, legends? We got Crypto by 𝗤𝗫. Shout out to him, guys. This guy's a legend. This guy is a legend. Make sure to follow him, give him some love. I'm gonna pin you in the comment section, my man. Okay, then we'll go through we need to go through Bitcoin a little bit more, guys. We have talked about a few plans, but I think we need to cover a few more things, right? I think we need to cover a few more things. Make sure to check out Crypto by 𝗤𝗫, because he is here in the comment section, guys. And I'm going to pin his YouTube channel so you can go and follow him. He has been insane with trading in the Legends trading community, shorting major crypto launchers. Okay, very effective. All of his shorts eventually, right? You need if you short a bear market, then you're eventually going to be profitable, right? So check him out, guys. Incredible content. He's in the pinned comment, and he's actually a coach in the Legends trading community. And in the Legends trading community, he's gone through, we're heading up here. We're pumping pretty strongly, guys. You know, this dead cat bounce is heading up very strongly. Hang on a second here, guys. I'm loading here the Discord, but I need to give a shout out to 𝗤𝗫, because he's been absolutely doing insane. All of the short setups that he mentioned in the community have played out to perfection, and I just wanted to show you here. But if you join the Legends trading community, you're going to see it yourself. But all of the shorts have gone to profit. Epic shorting major launchers throughout the last few months. I was going to show you, but it doesn't matter. If you do join, you will see. Let's go right away through the comment section. Oh, we're pumping, guys. This is a bit of a strong pump, I have to say. This is pumping pretty aggressively for me to want to get into a quick short right now against the pump. This is the shorting interesting area. Let's take a look at stock market. Are we in? Is stock market getting a pretty epic bounce? We do have a BTC CME gap. Let's take a look at that right away, because we might just fill up the gap. I don't mind filling the gap. I know the gaps do provide resistance. Oh, we're very far away still in filling that gap. Oh, still very far away. Yeah, this is pumped a little bit too aggressive for me to be interested in the short, guys. I do not want to see aggressive moves. I want to see the price action eventually move in a little bit of a choppy uptrend, not a big fat rocket. You know, this could just continue pumping. You know, maybe we are in a third wave. Very, very hard to sniper a trade here, guys. You know, you might just SFP from the 79,900. But for the moment, it is pumping. Respect the pump. And if it does reject from this lower high, very aggressive to jump in a short, in my opinion, when it's just a big fat rocket, guys. We're pumping very, very aggressively. And what I wanted to see is a chilled three-wave structure here and a five-wave move. If we continue pumping like this, I am not interested in shorting a big fat pump. Ooh, a very aggressive short position here. Very aggressive. Yeah, there's a quick SFP. I mean, you could have entered and be very, very defensive, but it was very, very quick, in my opinion, to get, you know, to literally just come up very fast to that level, which is rejecting right now. I mean, there's big volatility with the markets right now. But yeah, that's basically where it got the rejection at the moment. I did see 𝗕𝗏𝘆𝗽𝗫 talking about the potential as well of, I don't like it too much, but overall looking at this as a wave 1, 2, 3, and this is your fourth wave, and then a fifth back down. If it is going to be that case, the price is not allowed to hit the golden pocket, not allowed to hit these lows right over here. If you do so, yeah, massive, big recovery bounce here, legends. Big recovery bounce. So not interested in shorting a big fat bounce. Over $4,000 in less than an hour. And we were talking about, I don't like to long a higher low inside of a downtrend, right? Holy moly. This was actually an epic long, right? I think nobody entered a long position here. We realized the potential of forming a three-wave move up here. But holy moly. Was not expecting a big fat rocket V-shape recovery kind of price action. It just wants to pump and pump. Very fast price action, guys. We want a chilled exhaustion. You know, if I want to get into a short position. Not too interested in shorting this big fat pump. We're almost, you're just a few $1,000s away from yesterday's price action. Big bounce, guys. V-shape. Markets are saved. Interest rate cuts. Money printing. That's it, guys. The low is in. Let's go through the comment section. Sailor is long in. Yeah. A bit too quick and aggressive moves here for me to get into any trading setup. But my goodness, what an epic. I FOMO'd long. I hope you FOMO'd long a little bit earlier. Holy crap. We were talking about a possibility of a higher low here. And to really chill in a zigzag move. But chill, right? Chill. Get a chilled dead cat bounce. Not this. Not this. You know, I'm just... let it go, right? If you want to go, just let it go. Let it go. Obviously, I do not want to short a big rocket Too fast of price action here for me to get into. We want to see exhaustion. We want to see it just tapped this low right over here. But still, up we go. Big volatility. Big volatility to the upside. I think most were not expecting this kind of a V-shape, almost V-shaping here. Very, very interesting price action. With that conclusion, I have to say that this 5 wave move to the downside was already finished. The end of this, this was it. This was it. The idea here of a reversal is imminent. Well, here we go. I was expecting a little bit of choppiness, but this was the completion of the wave by the looks of things, and the large relief rally. Well, yeah, we're getting it on stream. Was not expecting it to be that quick through the stream. I have to say, what a V shape. What a big pump. This pump was $6,000 in less than an hour. Almost $6,000 of a pump in less than an hour. Big short squeeze, most will speculate. But yeah, to get into a short trade with this big relief pump is extremely, extremely difficult. Okay, you can get really trapped. You need to know where you're putting your stop loss. So yeah, big fat V shape happening. This could be just a major short squeeze and it just extended. Let me just double check here that the wave extension. Yeah, just hit the 1.618 extension right there for the rejection. 1.618, very, very hard to catch the short position here. But we literally got to the 1.618 extension of this movement, meaning that this wave is 1.618 times longer than this wave right over here. Very, very technical. And to treat it as an SFP just to, catch a major short. Maybe this one does start collapsing down several $1,000s, but you need to have these levels ready. You need to have these levels ready on the chart to speculate on, trying to catch the dead cat bounce high, which is literally what could be the case right now. I just made $2 shorting. Congratulations. That's very good. Very nice. Very nice. Taking a look at Fibonacci from here. Yeah, golden pocket was crossed. Fibonacci from this pivot high to the pivot low. Golden pocket. Yeah, the 1.618 extension. This is going to be very interesting to see how it develops in the next coming hours, because overall the plans that we created, contracting move, that's gone down the toilet. The ABC move is the one that we're looking at. However, this pump was too aggressive. I would have preferred to see a 5-wave move up here in an ABC to then chill on the short. But maybe this was it. Maybe this was the short squeeze, guys, and we're going to get an epic dump. Remember, when there's big fear that you might get that short squeeze first and then it gets the major collapse down. We're coming straight back down. 1.618 extension, very hard, quick short position, I have to say, to enter. It's already dumping $2,000 from that 1.618 extension. Just a major short squeeze, guys, happening very, very quick. But this was kind of the aggressive short. Price is getting too much volatility. You need to be very, very much on the chart to check the movements. But this could have been it. This could have been the ABC movement, And now we're just going to start, you know, rolling back down very aggressively. Yeah, maybe this was it. Just a quick short. As people are fearful and they want to get rid or short the market, right? These big relief short squeeze are very, very common. Very, very common because very aggressive entry, but we are downtrending still, guys. You know, this movement that we had throughout yesterday is incredibly impulsive. So this was just a very quick ABC kind of movement, very sharp. And, you know, coming all the way up to the 1.618 extension. And now eventually getting that aggressive move. A little bit too volatile for my cup of tea. It's not my kind of cup of tea style of trading. But my goodness, that was a quick move up. Quick kind of short squeeze. Anybody that got into an aggressive short, I mean, for me, the only option here to get into this short, which was a little bit too quick for me, have to say, was still analyzing very chilled the possibility of a, you know, let's form an ABC 5-wave move, get very chilled, and then look for the movement down. Maybe some of you entered very aggressively, saying, I don't care, I'm going to short as soon as we get the SFP from the highs. Or, you know, maybe you had ready the 1.618 extension at the $80,600 to get into that short and just short the rejection from the 1.618. For me, it was too quick, guys. Too quick, too aggressive. When you're pumping like this, you know, I want to see a little bit of more exhaustion, a little bit of more choppiness, not this amount of volatility. But now it makes sense for this 3-wave structure to see where it peaked out, which is the 1.618 right over here from this movement. Very, very aggressive short. For me, the only option if I wanted to get into this short position, you know, already getting some, you know, collect some profits. We're probably getting a reaction at today's open. Yeah, today's daily open is acting as support. So if you did short right there, this is definitely a good level to collect some profits. If you did short the 1.618 extension. Daily open, previous week close is what is acting as support. I mean, this is just very, very quick and volatile. Previous week close is getting the reaction bounce. Let's take a look here where we're getting that support, because if the price does find support here and it does manage to create one more high, anybody that shorted, you know, this is a take profit zone without a doubt. If this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, it's going to be looking very interesting. I would be very much interested in a double top here. If we come back up to the highs at 81,300, I would be interested in a kind of a double top scenario, because you have a completed 5-wave structure here. Double top or the previous week open, previous month close level, which is at 82,300. I think it's highly likely that we do form this is an ABC and we start moving down. I think it's highly likely that this is the scenario that we're looking at. But we're currently holding the previous week close. And if we do hold this level, then what we could be looking at is a 5-wave structure here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't think it's going to be the case, but if it needs to be a 5-wave move up, it needs to hold here, because it's 50% Fibonacci. You don't want to hit the golden pocket. The moment you hit golden pocket, you're going to overlap this pivot. That's it. This is going to be it. Then the bounce becomes very attractive to short, and we just continue down. This will completely break the opportunity of an uptrend. We are downtrending. This has just been a quick movement up, short squeeze. If we lose and we tap this low, it's very likely going to be downtrending in the next coming days, okay? Coming hours. Quick. The overall idea was really better to look for short positions, but this was a quick pump and dump. You need to be very ready for this short trade. Already dumping down $3,000. Very volatile market, guys, right now. Yeah, 1.618 getting the rejection from this movement. You need to be a little bit of a sniper. Be ready for that 1.618. Too quick, too aggressive, into the pump. Not my cup of tea for trading, not my style. But anybody that was, it was a very good entry. TP1 already hit. We're losing the levels. This is the kind of short that you want to maintain some open to get back down to the lows. Very quick. Who got into that short position here, guys? For me, very quick kind of price action. I'm more chilled to see proof of support, get into smaller movements. The only trade that I got in today out of, pure speculation based on bullish CVDs here was a long position here to take profit at the highs. This is the only long trading that I got today. Managed to get in $700. This was my day trade today. Long the previous week, previous month low, and take profit at the highs. We had bullish CVD divergence, looking for one more wave up, and that was the only scalp long position. But we did get proof of support, right? We did get a consolidation. We were holding. We had bullish CVDs. That's a little bit more chilled of a long position. Only $1,000 move up. But this was my day trade. This was my scalp of today. But you got a lot of confirmation. It depends on your style of trading. This volatility is, for me, next level. I'm not taking the chance on jumping on a quick long or jumping on a quick short with the volatility. It creates emotional decisions, right? So if it just moves up, you just let it go. Or if it moves down very quickly, just let it go. We need waves, right? We need waves on the market. I'm not interested in trading this. I'm not interested in trading the massive pump and dumps and pumps, just because it doesn't fit my style, right? You can get emotional, and I would rather wait for a little bit of more steady confirmation. But if I would have entered this short, the only option was the 1.618 extension here. 1.618 extension from this move would have been the only option to get into this short trade. So getting another plan ready here. If we were to bounce back up to the highs, yeah, golden pocket has been hit already. So we're probably likely going to form a lower high now on this rejection. Yeah, very aggressive move down, already hitting the golden pocket. Yeah, golden pocket has been hit. It will be very interesting. This might bounce slowly. If we bounce slowly here to the golden pocket, 7/8 Fibonacci zone. If we move up slowly into this region, I would be interested in the back test of these lower highs. But we need to move slowly. If we move up there very quick and pump and dump, I'm not interested. Not interested in trading this kind of volatility. What I'll be interested is if we move up in a three-way move in the next 1 to 2 hours and see bearish CVD divergence here, then I will be very likely interested in this short back down to the lows of the dump and even break down. If we pump there right now and we just hit the level, I'm not interested. You know, this volatility is next level. This volatility is next level. The only long little scalp for me was very, very chilled bullish CVD divergence, consolidation at the previous month low, and the target was hitting the high, and that was the only little scalp long that I got into today, right over here. Took on all of the profits. Very, very chilled type of trading. This volatility is like, yeah, I'll leave the volatility for the aggressive traders out there. Guys, remember, if you are interested in trading, Weeks is a great platform, guys. You just need an email and a password to sign up. You do get 50% deposit bonus. It's a $1,000 cap. You deposit $2,000, you're getting $1,000. The way to get this bonus needs to be explained. You transfer the deposit into your futures account, and in 48 to 72 hours, you're getting the 50%, okay? It's maximum of $1,000. 72 hours, you will get that airdrop. You will have more capital, and you do get 25% fee reduction signing up with a second link, guys, okay? Take advantage of the fee reduction for your trades using this second link down below for Weeks, okay? You can trade almost anywhere on Weeks, guys. I know a lot of people are interested on a platform, right, that has high volume, that just requires an email and a password. That's it. Yeah. We just pumped up and back tested that level. You know, this is a bit too quick, guys. Markets have opened. We are getting that volatility. So, you know, are we going to see the S&P 500? There we go. We got a quick pump and dump on the stock market. Just a major short squeeze. Quick pump and dump here in the last few minutes with the stock market. Yeah, this is too aggressive, but we did back test that level, right? The idea is good, guys, but volatility is getting a little bit too crazy. But it did come up very quick to the golden pocket to back test that level, and now dumping back down to the lows. Yeah, this is a little bit... My goodness, markets are moving fast. And if you do not move fast into the markets, yeah, golden pocket was hit. My goodness. Too quick, right? Too quick of a movement. You're looking for a zigzag move up here, then down, and it just pumped and dumped in the last 2 minutes. And these are movements of a $2,000, guys. This moved $2,000. This is quick movements. You realize the possible resistance. Who got into that short, guys, as I was talking? My goodness. It's too quick. But the shorting level to get into was the golden pocket and the back test of this level. My goodness, this is fast market, guys. Holy moly. Volatility is real. Volatility is here, guys. If you do not trade quickly... It was too, I mean, even though for me it was too fast of a move. Too fast of a move here to get into a short at the golden pocket, back testing those lower highs. Holy smokes. Market's moving fast. Golden pocket respected, 79,000, almost 80K, 79,900. Already dumped $2,000, guys, in 2 minutes. Let's go right away. My Tradingview is working fine. Some people are having issues. Even Tradingview is lagging with the volatility. We do have so many markets that have Chinese, Japanese suspended. Japanese stock market suspended, guys, because of the major breakdown. Many markets, okay, suspended, halted. Taiwan as well. We got China, Taiwan, Japan, Russell Futures, Australia. Markets that have circuit breakers today so far. Whew. Big Black Monday it is, guys. You know, we've seen Black Monday throughout all Twitter, maybe throughout YouTube as well. Black Monday it is, guys, today. But the dump has happened, right? The dump has already happened. The big aggressive collapse. Now it's try and recover the markets, right? Where I think Donald Trump, there's gonna be emergency meetings. The dump has happened. Could it get continued down ever so slightly for the next coming days? Absolutely. But I think there's going to be a big plan to recover the markets, guys, in my opinion. All right. So the big aggressive collapse has happened on the markets. It's all over the media right now. Oh my goodness. Recession, rest of it, and everybody worried. Usually these kind of events, once they happen and once they are out in media, there's gonna be a recovery plan. Whether it's gonna be this week or next week, they're gonna try and recover the markets with their financial tools, interest rate cuts, money printing, whatever. I don't know what they're gonna do, but the overall, there's gonna be a let's recover the markets back up again. Okay, so the drop has happened. Anybody that believes that this drop is just going to go down the toilet is because they're not using the recovery tools, getting interest rates down to 0 in the next coming months and printing trillions of dollars. If they don't do that and they recover the market and they're just going to let the recession depression happen, well, lower we go, right? And we all in the same problem. No tariffs on crypto. Yes, for example. Let's go. Continue here through the comment section. Did Trump buy? Maybe. Countries are folding and negotiating with Trump. Yeah, no tariffs, right? There's going to be many plans to try and recover the markets, guys. That is without a doubt. Right now, the big boys are going to get into meetings and they're going to try and recover this major collapse, right? So a relief rally is very much expected. A large relief rally will likely happen in the coming days, guys. The dump has happened. So why so much volatility? Well, yeah, it's all started with the tariffs. And so not short now. Look. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. These are very strong quick scalp day trading levels, right? As mentioned, you need to be very, very quick in these decisions. For my style of trading, it is too quick volatility. I would rather wait for some scenarios and levels. But yeah, for this to be an ABC or a 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. Most common zone is 1.618 for the third wave. This is like a quick sniper short, stop loss, movement down. You're making a 3-to-1. You take profits on the reaction. If you wanted to get into this short, I mean, this was a shorting level that we mentioned, but it was just happened too quick. I just changed my screen and we already created the pump and dump. Too quick, but it was literally a back test of these lower highs and golden pocket. So shorting right now here on this consolidation is definitely not an option, in my opinion. Yeah, very, very, very quick volatile moves internally here. Let's go. BTC logarithmic chart looking bad. It can go down more. Absolutely. I mean, on the higher time frame, we did higher time frame analysis, and higher time frame still looks bearish. Okay, still looks bearish. We are expecting a possibility of going to lower levels, because we've only started this wave to the downside. Okay, after the triangle sideways wave, we've only started the movement down. So going to lower levels is very possible. The most short-term bullish case on the higher time frame, which there is one, is this contracting move finished. I don't like it too much. It's not that symmetrical, but there is a possibility that with the tools and the financials, basically the big boys, right? Donald Trump and the rest of presidents from other countries, if they do get a good deal and a good plan to recover the markets, this could be the case for Bitcoin. This could be the case for Bitcoin, where you've finished a contracting move to the downside and you get a larger relief pump. But right now, big volatility. big liquidation events. Rip my short position. Well, it depends on where you shorted, right? It depends. Yeah, if you, eventually, guys, this area is not a good zone to look for shorts, as explained at the beginning of the stream. You know, I don't know if this is the low, but I'm very much aware it could be the low locally, or we could form a contracted move. And that is understanding that the big move has happened. The big move has already happened, guys. You cannot be very bearish or look for shorts when the big move has happened. You got your first initial waves, your big wave 3, and then your 4 and 5. The question is here, will you create, you know, the contracting move to the downside for your 5th wave? Or is this the end of the 5th wave? Very much a possibility. As explained, right, throughout the beginning of the stream. But this is no zone to be bearish, guys. The Black Monday has happened. The stock market has crashed already. And now there's going to be major plans, emergency meetings to create a recovery. Now their plan is to recover the crash. So if you are looking for shorts down here throughout today, it is dangerous. A relief rally is imminent. The question was, of course, you know, is the low in here for the 5th wave? Or are we going to form, you know, that contracting move down, right? And then get the relief pump above 80K. You know, we had it on stream. It was too fast of volatility, guys. Very, very fast. Right. Hold my beer, as stated. You think that was a big move? Hold my beer. Yeah, this is a big move down, okay? This is a major move down. Bitcoin did drop in the last 24 to 48 hours. 10%. 10% is a lot for 24 hours of a move, right? So it was a big move down. Hey Andy, opened a week's account on Thursday, Friday, not seen deposit yet. Do I need to reach out to support? Yeah, well, the game plan here, as mentioned, I've only got 2 people out of a lot of people that have signed up to weeks. This is how you can reach to support, guys. This is what you get on the sign up, okay? It is there. Earn 50% deposit bonus. And what you need to do, though, very important, is transfer that deposit to your futures account. So if you deposit $2,000, you're transferring it to your futures account. In 48 to 72 hours, you will get that airdrop of 50%. Okay, remember it's only $1,000 cap. But if you did not get that deposit 50% in 72 hours, make sure to reach out support, guys. This is the bonus that they do have exclusively, and you need to get that bonus. It's for all of the people that are from the community, okay? So you will get that bonus. Open a support ticket. If you need a transfer to your futures account, okay? Not spot account. It needs to be in your futures account. So make sure to do that transfer if you haven't done that. And in 48 to 72 hours, you're getting the airdrop, okay? Which is $1,000 maximum. And you can use that for your trading. Also with 25% fee reduction, guys. Take advantage of that insane bonus. You know, if you don't want the bonuses or you just want to sign up to trade, you get 25% fee reduction, and you just need an email and a password if you wish, guys. All right. They're not asking for any information. You just need an email and a password to start trading on weeks, guys. Get that 25% fee reduction with the second link down below, guys. Take advantage. Big volatility. This is very quick. We'll be analyzing the situation. I might be doing a video update tomorrow on YouTube. Very quick volatility. But this could have been it, guys. The ABC movement to the upside. This could have been it. Very quick. All right. If we do manage to claim the local highs, it could be a little bit of an expanding 5-wave move up. Eventually, I would be looking for a correction. We do have major levels, which is previous week open, previous month close, sitting at $82,000, okay? This would be a very interesting level for a rejection. Previous week open, previous week close. And if it does get up there very quick and with this volatility, I don't think it will, but regardless if it does, we could be forming a very, very dodgy expanding move here. A very, very dodgy, quick expanding move in a 5-wave structure. You're eventually looking for a big correction and then market to continue up. I don't think it's going to be the case, but eventually, you know, speculating on that 5th wave, the best level to peak out here is 82,200. Previous week open, previous week close, previous month close, sorry. You know, that is a good level of rejection. With this volatility, you know, maybe this short squeeze has not ended. That is the only bullish case that I do see here, but possibly this was the ABC and then you start rolling down from here, okay? Like I said, you cannot get above the golden pocket, 7/8 Fibonacci, if you want this to be your wave 2. It was very quick, guys, but the short level was literally back testing this level over here. It happened very, very quick. I'm not sure if anybody sniped that level, but it was too quick to get into the short. Obviously, you're collecting profits already, but you're leaving a little bit of a short trade at this back test at the golden pockets. But it seems like market wants to push up. It wants to push up. So just be defensive with your trading setups. But yeah, the back test here was your option from these lower highs right over here. It happened very, very quick in a matter of minutes. Legends, I'm going to wrap it up. I got my family over here in Dubai. Thank you very much for joining. Okay. Big crash. There could be some recovery meetings, right? Interest rates down, no tariffs. And then the market does recover, guys. Okay. The crash has happened already. And what the big players are going to be doing, the big boys, is getting a plan with meetings to possibly recover the stock market, guys. That's what they're going to do. Okay. So I think I wouldn't be too fearful at the moment because we're looking for a relief rally. All right, legends, thank you very much for joining. I'll be back tomorrow with more. Make sure to join the Legends training community if you want more daily updates, guys. It is the 4th link down below. If you want to join the Discord, the free Discord, you can join the free Discord. There's many active people there talking about trading setups, ideas, and you also have the private community with many coaches there that are constantly updating every single day, guys. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you tomorrow.